So now we are going to move on with creating a poster or a feature page in InDesign. I'm going to do Command A to select all my elements. I'll hit delete because I want to start brand new with a blank page. Now, depending on what project you're working on, I basically have an idea of what I want to do. So recently I organized an English camp in my home country, Republic of Moldova, and I would like to do a poster that gives you a quick overview of what the camp was about and what were the results of the camp. So basically, I'm going to do something quick and nice. I'm going to start with the rectangle tool, and I'll draw about a third of the page. I'll draw a rectangle. I'll fill it with a yellow color right now, then I can manipulate it and change it. Then I'm going to click on my rectangle frame tool, and I'll bring in a picture right here that goes inside that box, plus it takes a little bit more space of the outside. I'll click on File, Place. Remember, that's how you bring in a picture, and I'll find my picture. I'll hit Open. Then I'm gonna fit this picture with Object, Fitting, Fill Frame Proportionally. Remember, that's the technique that we use. Now in this picture, I'm going to edit it a little bit. I feel like the top is a little too much, so I'll bring it down something like that. Then I really like this yellowish on the bottom of the picture. So look what I'm going to do. I'll click on my selection tool. I'll access my box with color. Then I'll click on my eyedropper tool and I'll eyedrop this color. Let's see if I can find one that's a little lighter. That's too light. Let me empty it. Okay, something like that. So let me bring in the picture, bring it up a tiny bit more since I arranged it in there. By the way, right now I'm using my arrows on my keyboard to bring the picture up. Now, since I said this is going to be like a camp results of what I just did, I'm going to click on the type tool and I'll draw a big box where I'll type in English, because the camp was called English with Val and Kate. That's something my older sister and I are working on in Moldova. I'll click on the character formatting style and I'll apply a font style that would work with what we do. So English, let me make it a tiny bit bigger. Then I'm gonna center it. I'll click on my type tool again and I'll write with, all lower caps this time, with. Command A, Command Shift period to enlarge it a little bit, not too much though. Selection tool, make it smaller, bring it under English with. Now I'll click on my type tool again to write Val and Kate. I'll select it. Let me choose a font style that I think would work really nice. Command Shift period, make it longer, hit right here, make the box smaller so it won't interfere with other elements, other things that I have on the page. Let's bring width a little lower so it's basically sitting on the same line with Val. Bring it closer to Val with Val and Kate. Excellent. Let me hit W so we see what our project looks like without the grids, without all these extra lines. So W basically shows you what your page looks like and it takes you back. I feel like my picture has to go up a tiny bit more. And then here, okay, looks nice. I feel like it already looks nice. Now let's decide on the color for English. Let me select the word English and let me actually try a different font style, because I feel like, yep, this is going to make it a whole lot better. It's going to add a little more accent. So I'll select English and I'll apply a dark red from this picture right there. So I'll click on my eyedropper tool. And let's see what that is. Okay, it also has a frame. It has a stroke. I don't need the stroke, so I'm gonna select it and I'll remove the stroke. I don't want it to have a stroke. Excellent. Now the next step that I'm gonna do is I will click on my type tool, create a type box, and I'll say summer camp results. I'll select it, make it bigger, center it, change the font style. So I'll change it to something a little bit, something like that I think would work really nice. Okay, And then I want to add in some information about the results of the camp and what exactly happened. So I would like to create some bullet points. Now you can be as creative as you'd prefer here, but I will show you a quick model on how you can do it. I'll click on my rectangle tool, click on my ellipse, draw an ellipse. Let me add a stroke to this ellipse. Let me add a green stroke like that, make it thicker, even thicker. Okay, then I'm gonna click on another. I'll draw another circle, and this time I'm going to have a make it entirely green, so I'll fill it with that color. Good. Let me bring it inside. I'll click on it, drag, let go. It's too big, so let me make it smaller. Shift, click, hold the shift button, bring it in. Okay, now I'm going to click on my type tool, click, drag, let go, and I'll type number 1. Let me select one. Let me find a cool font style that I can potentially use for this one. Let me check this one out. Let's make it a tiny bit bigger, Command Shift period. And let's bring it inside. Yeah, let's bring it inside first, and then we're going to play with the font color. Okay, let's make it the same color that I have this yellowish there within the picture. So unfortunately, I didn't save that color, so I'm going to click on my eyedropper. I'll sample it, and I'll do right click, and I'll do add to swatches. Okay, so now I filled it with color. I actually don't need to fill the box with color. So I'll select my box. I'll click right here. I'll say none right there, but I'll select my number inside, and I'll apply that color that had become my last within my swatches, the last color within my swatches. I'll make the one a tiny bit bigger, and then I'll make it fit inside that circle. So hit W, so that would be like a bullet point about the camp that I want to insert. Now I'm going to click on my rectangle tool, and I'll draw a rectangle next to it that will be filled basically with the same green color, and I will write inside with that yellowish color. Okay, so let me click on my type tool now, click, drag, let go, and type in, let's say, over 146 students studied English with Val and Kate during June 18th or between June 18th and 25th. Okay, so if I want to fix anything, I'm just going to go inside between. I'll select the text. I'll make it bigger because I want to make sure you can see it. Then I'll change the font color to that yellowish. There it is. And I'll place it inside. I'll drag the box down a little bit. I also have to make sure that I have space away from the margins with the text, okay? So make sure you click on the right box, the one that you actually need, and I'll make it a tiny bit bigger. There it is. So you see, I've already created a bullet point. Let me center it. Click, drag, let go to select these elements together. Bring them more to the right, more towards the left, so you have equal or balanced amount of space on your page. Hit W, and that's what we have right there. Now I'll click, drag, let go, and bring it closer to summer camp results. I'll bring that. Basically, I'm working on the spacing now, right? Because I want to show that these elements are together. Then look what I'm going to do. I'll click, drag, let go. I'll do Command C to copy it. I'll click and I'll do Command V to paste it. And I'll bring this down because this is going to be my second bullet point. I don't want to go through the same steps once again. I want to save time. So instead of 1 there, I'm going to click number 2. And here I'm going to add the second thing and say that what other results would be that probably over 10 students showed interest in becoming leaders at future camps. Excellent. So let's click outside of the page. It looks like I am done with my poster. So this could be something very simple that you can design. You see, I like this color a lot more than that for English. So let me select it because I want it to blend in and kind of be Good, good. I like that a lot better. If I want to apply some effects onto my text, I'll select my text box, and within my control panel, right here on top, you see I have the drop shadow. I'll click right there, and that will add a little bit more emphasis to my text. If I still feel like something is not right or something is missing, remember W takes you back to your grid, W takes you out. Maybe I can do something more creative with summer camp results, but for now, I feel like this would be a cool poster to use for something, maybe something like a promotion on a social media page or anything that you have to do. If you want to keep on making some changes, okay, let's bring the grids in, but if you want to keep making any changes, please do so. Another very important detail that I wanted to show you is that you would have to save this document. Remember, within our preset documents, we saved it, so all we can do is do a Command S, and it's going to save it as an InDesign format. We named it poster project. Save it on your desktop. Make sure you save it as an InDesign format first. Hit save, and this would be good to go. You can always come back and make any changes that you'd prefer on it, but you also have to export it as a PDF file. So you will do File, Adobe PDF Presets, you would do High Quality Print, Poster Project, you can leave the same name. Make sure you know where you're saving it. Mine will go on my desktop. Hit save, hit export. Give it a second to export. You can minimize InDesign and then go find it on your desktop, and there's your PDF file of what you have just worked on. So this would be like a cool poster that you can potentially use for a project or anything that you're working on.